See what nonsense is in store for today.
Good.
Thank you. On impeachment, does the President or the White House more broadly plan to comply with requests for information from House Republicans as part of the impeachment inquiry?
Well, I've stated a couple of times just in the past few minutes that any specifics, inquiries, or anything like that, that is something that that the council, my colleagues at the White House Council certainly will deal with, and any specifics I would refer you to them.
You've suggested that there's no evidence to back up the Republicans'
Which is
effort
true.
Here.
I'm not suggesting it. That's actually a fact.
I don't know her name. What is it?
If they are seeking information,
again, that is something that the White House Council is going to deal with, and it's not a suggestion. It's actually an actual fact. When you have Republicans saying that there is no evidence, it doesn't exist. They have said that. I mean, again, they couldn't even put it up for a vote because they didn't have the vote.
Oh, great Odin's raven!
So it's not a suggestion, it's actually the fact. That's their own words that I'm repeating back. I'm just going to try and go to, again, John.
Karine, can you describe how President Biden reacted to the impeachment decision by the
I don't have anything to share about the president's reaction to this. All I can tell you is the president's focus on the American people, hardworking American people. You'll see him in a few minutes when he speaks to his cancer cabinet, and then you'll certainly hear from him tomorrow with the Bidenomics.
You listed a couple things, the deal that the Republicans are now not supporting, obviously the impeachment. You say you look forward, or the White House looks forward to working with the Republicans. How do you see that happening? How does President Biden plan to work with Speaker McCarthy?
So look, for the past 2 years, this president has gotten a lot of criticism in not being able to work in a bipartisan way with Republicans on the other side of Pennsylvania. I mean, we've heard that over and over and over again, and he has been able to do that. And as you know, the political climate is tough. We're in a different political climate, probably one that we haven't seen in this fashion for some time. And the president has been able to do that. He's been able to push incredibly key, historic pieces of legislation that's going to change the lives of Americans. When you think about the bipartisan infrastructure law, you think about the CHIPS and Science Act, you think about the PACT Act, all important pieces of legislation. And that's just a few. There's been hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pieces of legislation that have been done in a bipartisan way that the president has signed this past 2 years.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
So it can still be done. It really, truly can. We're talking about this moment in time, right, that we're seeing from Congress. Of course, we're going to call it out. Of course, we're going to ask, as it relates to certainly the budget, of course, we're going to say to them that they need to do their jobs. And so we've seen it over and over again. Well, this president has been able to do things in a bipartisan way. And let's not forget, one of the things that we saw from the midterm results in 2022 is that Americans want to see this working in a bipartisan way so that we deal with their key issues that they're having.
Well, no fucking shit.
Bidenomics is going to be so important tomorrow. The president's going to speak certainly fully about that and lay out what his administration has done and going to continue to do, and that's what we're going to focus on.
On impeachment, you just mentioned House Republicans' baseless claims. How confident are you that there will be no evidence that incriminates President Biden and Hunter's business dealings as this goes forward?
So let me just give a little bit of a lay down here, because I think it's important. Any specifics to the inquiry, certainly I want to say this at the top. Do
you even know what you just said?
To Darlene, I'm going to refer you to my colleagues at the counsel's office. But I also want to be clear about a couple of things. You know, I just talked about Bidenomics. I just talked about what the president's going to do tomorrow, really deliver a major speech, something that the American people want to hear about. What are we doing to improve their lives, work on the economy? And these are real issues, real priorities for Americans. And like I said, like lowering costs. But what you see Republicans in Congress, right, they have spent all year investigating the president. That's what they have spent all year doing. And have turned up with no evidence, none, that he did anything wrong. I mean, that is what we've heard over and over again from their almost year-long investigation. And that's because the president didn't do anything wrong.
I'm for real. I'm for real. So you better check yourself.
Even House Republicans have said the evidence does not exist. The House Republicans have said that. To my friend in the back who just yelled at, which is incredibly inappropriate. But House Republicans have said that it doesn't exist. Their own investigation have actually debunked their ridiculous attacks. And the only reason Speaker McCarthy is doing this political stunt, and we have seen it, you all have reported, is because Majority Taylor Greene has said she threatened to shut down the government. Can you imagine shutting down the government over a political stunt?
America first.
And we're talking about vital programs that American families need. And she said that because she wanted him to actually do this. And if he didn't, she would shut down the government. And you have Matt Gaetz as well, threatened to oust him as Speaker if he didn't do it. So he didn't even put up for a vote, as you all know, because he knows that even his own members weren't going to support this. So, that's why we call it baseless. That's why I just called it baseless, because they have said themselves that there is no evidence. The evidence does not exist, and this is a political stunt. But here's the thing, and I say this all the time, we look forward to working with Republicans in a bipartisan way to actually deal with issues that matter to Americans, real issues that matter to Americans, not this baseless effort that they have continuing to do that shows no evidence.
Well, given that, will the president still be able to work with House Republicans, including Speaker McCarthy, to avert a shutdown in a couple of weeks?
I mean, look, the shutdown should not happen. That is Congress's job, to avoid a shutdown. I've said over and over again here at this podium just for the past couple of minutes that these are vital programs that American families need. So that's their basic duty. Their basic duty is to keep the government open. We've already agreed. We've agreed. There was a bipartisan agreement on how to move forward with the budget that they voted on. And so, look, a deal is a deal. They should keep their word, and they should keep the government open. Go ahead, Nancy.
You just brought up the lack of a vote. Does the White House view this impeachment inquiry as legitimate, given that there has not been a vote to open it?
So, Nancy, I appreciate the question, but I actually, from what I just laid out, Republicans haven't made it pretty clear just how illegitimate this is.
What are you talking about?
They've made that very clear. This is an entire exercise of how to do this in an illegitimate way.